BURT Richard Perno podcast.
Braddon businesses have formed a new organisation called BURT. I thought it was BURT, but then Kel Watt, I looked at it again. Braddon's United Retailers and Traders, BURT, delivering a strong collective voice for local traders. What's this about, Kel?
Oh, well, being a local Braddon business person, you talk with people across different businesses every day, and one of the things that we've really enjoyed about Braddon is its gentrification. We've had people move in. There's all sorts of professionals. We've still got some of the old, car yards and things like that there, but more and more you're seeing homewares. It's a great place to grab a coffee and a latte, but you've also got professionals, medical people setting up, lawyers, and there's already long-established businesses there. So with those inevitable growing pains comes things like traffic issues.
What about light rail?
Enough rubbish bins. Light rail is going to be something that is causing probably longer term, but already it's one of those things that we're looking forward to it, but on any given day, you never quite know what road is going to be closed, what sort of detour is going to be in place. So the feedback we've been getting from businesses is that they've got clients or customers heading their way, and you get the inevitable 10 or 15 minute, late or early, because they're trying to account for the traffic situation. So it'll be settled soon, but it's just those little things that are causing frustration.
Right.
Look, it's not a negative thing. It's just an inevitable part of a growing suburb and a growing city.
Now, BURT,
yes.
the Braddon United Retailers and Traders,
I love it,
which you are a spokesperson, nothing better than a BURT. Kel Watt, what's the aim though? I mean, this is you're not mucking around here, are you, Kel? This is serious stuff.
Not. Look, there's literally hundreds. It might actually be 1,000+ businesses in Braddon. And if you've only got to walk down Lonsdale Street. Mort or
big event in Lonsdale on the weekend, and we'll get to that soon.
Absolutely. And there's great opportunities. It's becoming a real destination of choice for both business and tourists, and more people are wanting to head in there. And we're seeing the residential side of the suburb growing as well. But what we really want to do is make sure that we get out there, talk about those grassroots issues, roads, rates and rubbish, lobby the government and other officials and authorities as need be around the things that are causing hassles for people, not just the business owners, but their staff trying to get their way to work, their clients and customers. So whether it's boring things and the run-of-the-mill graffiti and vandalism, but the more frustrating things, I bet London to a brick that when we do our survey this month and next month, we're going to see parking as a big issue. Loading zones are inadequate there at the moment. So there are some growing pains at the moment, but it doesn't take too many frustrations for customers and clients to say, I've given this a go. Braddon's now been tried. Well, not businesses necessarily, but customers go first. And if they start to go elsewhere,
too awkward. We can't find parking.
Too difficult.
Courier's saying I can't find anywhere to park and drop my goods off.
Or
See you later.
They can't find a loading zone, so they pull up on the sidewalk for a couple of minutes to deliver something, and they walk out and there's a ticket there, which is more than what the job they were doing is worth. So they start to give that suburb a miss. We want to avoid that while we can, because if the customers and clients walk away, inevitably the businesses will as well.
But how can you avoid that?
Well, through good organisation, which is what we're doing. So forming BURT, Braddon's United Retailers and Traders, we've done it very deliberately to focus on the key things that we can go to government about, other organisations. So people, you mentioned the Yes Fest on the weekend. So there was great business opportunities as well as tourism opportunities and community activity opportunities on the weekend. But with the road closure the way it was, you had 3/4 of Lonsdale Street enjoying a massive influx of customers and fun, and you had a ghost town the other end who felt like they were petitioned and cordoned off. Yes, the road had to be closed because of all the pedestrians across the asphalt, but you had a couple of dozen key businesses hoping to enjoy some of the slice of the action, and they missed out. So with a bit more focused communication and with a bit more organisation, we're hoping to overcome these issues.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I'm a business owner in the street. And
what are you on?
So I've got a consulting business, Advocacy and Communications.
Are you finding customers reluctant to come to you? Or have your numbers shrunk?
I've got it to, no, in terms of overall client base, no, but where they used to enjoy getting to Braddon because of the novelty value, they're now saying, can you come to us? I'm always happy to travel to any part of town and meet with clients. And obviously,
but you're mobile. Well. What about those businesses who can't get
That's right. Travel? If you've got a law firm or you've got a cafe or you've got, another professional business, you've got to stay where you are. So I'm one of the, probably the minority of businesses have got the ability to be flexible and travel around to clients. But, if you've got a dental surgery, you've got to have the people come to you.
Yeah.
You don't
want to go back to the days of the old West where you got in a chuck wagon and travel, do you?
That's right.
Now, you've talked to the retailers. Have they seriously come to you, Kel, and said, we're in strife here?
Yeah, look, it's not panic stations now. I think that there was a combination of things. So the fact that a few of us got together and, you know, as you do over a coffee or a glass of wine, you start to sit down and solve all the problems of the world, have a bit of a chat. But we also got the key summer trading time coming up. So your listeners are probably aware that there was a bit of a fiasco last year about Lonsdale Street being closed for the summer nats, and won't they close it? It appeared to be a decision that was made out of the blue without any consultation. So it meant that the businesses that were looking forward to their regular summer trade from locals suddenly had the road closed and there was access denied. But also that big influx of tourists that come and bring the extra dollars to Braddon. You know, Braddon's a well-worn part of the summer nats path. So, you know, the big chunk of that summer trade that they rely on, because Canberra's notoriously quiet over January and February, they were missing out on that. So it appeared to be a lack of communication, and that comes about because of a lack of structure. So what BURT's trying to do is replace that void with a structure and a consolidated voice.
It sounds like a lot of decisions that are made maybe made on the spur of the moment, or thoughts of past, we've done this before, we'll do it again, without the ramifications being included, or what happens, the consequences.
That's right. And you can't blame it. You know, decisions that were made about Braddon 5 or 10 years ago aren't relevant today.
No.
But if you're following the same old pattern, then decisions that were suitable at one time aren't suitable now.
So you'll do the survey and take it to whom?
Well, it depends on what the survey pops up. I mean, as I said before, I bet London to a brick that parking and loading zones are going to be the top key issues, but that's just based on my own experience and based on the traders around me. You know, you've only got to walk 100 metres down Mort Street, Lonsdale Street or Torrens, and you've got perhaps a different set of issues, and a different industry group might find that they've got a different issue. So we get going to survey all the affiliated businesses throughout November and December. That gives us time to then pull the data together and to go to authority, whether it's the ACT government or whether it's organisers of Yes Fest, for example, who put on a great show, or even Summer Nats or ACT Policing, whoever the relevant body might be, and to say, look, here's the facts and figures, here's the consolidated information.
What's the way around this?
What's the way around it? How do we find solutions? How do we make your life easier? How do we get a win for local residents, people that want to come into Braddon, and importantly, the businesses and the staff members?
All right, so do you want hands up? Give me your ideas.
Oh, absolutely.
Survey?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No business owner. I mean, I'd like to think that because of my work in I can get out and talk to a whole bunch of businesses, you know, whether they're making lattes, or whether they're a law firm, or whether they're an architect or a gym. You know, I talk to all these people during the day, so I feel I've got my finger on the pulse, but no one is as Tony Abbott would say, the suppository of all wisdom. So I don't have a mortgage on knowledge, so I think that you know, as I said, there are literally hundreds of business owners in Braddon. They bring their collective experience together. We're going to have a much stronger position. All
right, couple of months. Look out if you're in Braddon, you want to get your opinion across. Talk to Kel Watt, who'll be circumnavigating the area. Kel, we'll get back to that in the next couple of weeks and see how that goes. Roundabouts.
Yes, yeah.
Flood of many celebrants. Well, probably wrong word. The celebration, or those who celebrate it.
Potentially,
yeah. And I hear there were some proposals on the Yes celebrations in Lonsdale Street.
I missed out.
Yeah, there's a few proposals.
I think they won what they call rough trade. I'm already married, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got a gay roundabout or
the rainbow roundabout. Looks fantastic.
And you think we could expand this for other causes?
Yeah, so people would be aware. Actually, it's probably almost 12 months exactly to the day. So 12 months ago last week, we had the Yes vote announced for the marriage equality campaign, and the ACT walked away with 74% of local people backing the proposal, so we were the strongest in the state. Part of the celebrations that ensued was the big street party in Lonsdale Street, Braddon, and of course the roundabout at the corner of Lonsdale and Allura Street was painted with rainbow, and then as the Enlightenment Festival came round, it was lit as well. So it's become a landmark, and a much beloved landmark for local residents, local businesses, and it's also a tourist draw card. On any given night, when it's lit up, you've got people taking selfies, and it's I'm sure that in addition to putting these important social causes at the front of people's minds as they drive past it, walk past it, etc., it also brings business into the area. Now, the marriage equality campaign and the battle over many decades for the LGBTQ community to gain equality was long, it was tough, and they've had some successes as they've also had to face adversity, but that to me is very similar to other causes as well. The ones immediately I can think of are around the women's movement, reconciliation, the environmental movement, multiculturalism, etc. So we've got a lot to reflect on, and we've got a lot to celebrate.
And you think some other roundabouts could be adorned with that kind of cause?
Canberra's the roundabout capital, and there are 2 roundabouts literally less than 100 metres away from the Rainbow Roundabout. There's another 2 or 3, probably a couple hundred metres beyond that.
Right.
And why not? If it's a successful movement for social causes and it's successfully bringing in business, the Rainbow Roundabout should be the first, not just the only roundabout that we do.
There are so many roundabouts. Have you counted how many roundabouts in Canberra?
More than a dozen.
And even Parliament House sits in the middle of one.
There we go. Well, that's already decorated, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, these things tend to work very well in clusters, and I think if we've got the Rainbow Roundabout, not to upstage it, but to complement the great social work it's doing and the big hit to business, why not have reconciliation recognised? Why not have multiculturalism recognised?
Well, it's White Ribbon Day coming up too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there are dozens of causes, and, the decision could also be made to potentially rotate through different causes.
So what are you going to do with this?
Well, we're going to be lobbying the government straight away.
What has Andrew Barr said about it?
Well, based on, I haven't spoken that yet. This is just very early days. It was floated over the weekend, so we've got a bit of work to do in terms of putting it forward to the government. But I see the Canberra Times journalist spoke to his office, and there was some initial positive response to that. Yeah. But obviously, there's still a lot of legwork to do in terms of formalising, a petition to the government and pushing the idea and working with the community. But what I'd like to see is an expansion of the roundabout. So Braddon is home to not just the Rainbow Roundabout, but other good causes. It's colourful, it brings in business, and it has people thinking about these social issues. But why not? If we look at what happened with Brian Batong and Rhonda Rockwallaby, 3,500 people voted to see was going to be our fauna emblem. Why not go to the community and ask them what causes they'd like to see recognised on the roundabouts?
Do you want suggestions?
Oh, I reckon it'd be fantastic. Yeah, the more that people.
Well, how do we get a suggestion? What do you do if you had a thought on this?
Well, look, there's going to be a website where people can email in, and I think the first thing we need to do is probably flesh this out a bit more with the government, then get that, let them know what's going on, what the organisation BURT is thinking about doing, then get that public feedback. And I think that the more people that have ownership of it out in the Canberra community, the more likely they are to make it a success, want to visit it, and we get the right causes recognised.
Plenty of causes. Braddon United Retailers Traders spokesperson, or BURT, Kel Watt. So if you've got an idea, if you run a business, you want to talk to Kel, you can do that about what's going on in your life in regard to parking and couriers and all of that around Braddon. And if you have a thought about another dedicated roundabout, your thoughts on that, we'll let you know when the Facebook or the something.
Facebook's up and running. All right. We've got Braddon.online is about to go live. But as I said, look, we're looking small to begin with. That's sort of a little part of Braddon. But I think if this is a successful model for business to have a voice to government and other authorities, could potentially expand beyond that as well.
Good to see you, Kel Watt.